Howdy everyone, welcome to another good e-reader comparison video. My name is Michael.
This is Peter.
Today we have the Apple iPad Air versus the Kobo Arc 10 HD. Both of these devices have just come out in the last few weeks. A lot of people are wondering, what are the differences? I'm thinking about getting either and or. They're relatively the same price. They're around that $400 mark for the entry-level device, and that's what we have here. 10 inches on the Arc, 9.7 inches on the Air. You only have a 1.3 gigahertz dual-core processor on the Air versus the 1.8 gigahertz quad-core processor on the Arc. You have 2 gigs of RAM on the Arc, but only 1 gig on the Air. The Air has more cameras. It has a front-facing 1.2 megapixel and a rear-facing 5 megapixel, but the Arc only has a front-facing 1.3 megapixel camera. Battery life, really comparable. They both have around 10 hours. And we're not going to really show you the hardware because you could look at our other videos to get all of that. Instead, we're just going to look at the main ecosystem here. As you can see, the Kobo Arc has a heavily skinned version of Android. On this screen here, you see purchases that we have made, as well as, you look at things from Pocket that we have there, recommended reads based on books that you've added to your wish list or books that you have purchased, and you have the Kobo Top 10. I would say that the Arc is more geared towards an e-reading tablet, and the Apple iPad Air is more of a multi-purpose tablet. You look at the other screen here, and you have collections. You can put collections here for ebooks, magazines, but you can also add videos and interactive cooking guides and things like that. And you could easily add more content to it via the web browser. Let's start looking at some content.
So we're going to start off with looking at an ebook because we are a good e-reader, and that is what we do here. So we're going to open up an ebook on both of these devices. And we'll just let you guys kind of look at the differences as we go along here. So you'll have to tap in the middle of the Arc to open up the text change. And you have a couple of different ways to change the reading experience. Font size, 2-page spread only works on landscape. And you have themes, sepia, classic, night, etc.
And you have the same themes on the Air as well.
Right. Page turns, very fluid, very quick. Not going to have all the lag that you do have on an e-reader. You have highlight capabilities, tells you a little bit of a definition with Google and Wikipedia integration as well. You also have highlights on both devices, multiple colors. And let's do a note so we can compare the keyboards. So we'll go like this. So this being Android, you can actually load in other keyboards if you wish.
Swipe, Swift key, or you can install custom, custom themes, custom packages.
Right. So you can make bookmarks. And pretty much, the reading experience. Oh, I see. Yeah, we're in iPad also has scroll mode, which is basically the entire book in one endless paragraph. Well, not paragraph, but one endless kind of page you can just scroll. So it's kind of cool.
Beyond the Book is a cool feature that Kobo has introduced. They've eliminated their reading life awards and statistics, and they got more towards Beyond the Book. So you can get a sense on major characters. If they talk a lot about this book about runes, it's like, what is a rune? Okay, here's other books about runes. You could get a sense on what they're all about. Interviews with the author. You can see how many times the book has been read and finished. I like this sort of. I like the way that Kobo's changed this to that, and you don't really get that on the iPad. At least with the stock iBooks app. If you download the Kobo app for iPad, you get some of these similar things. But Reading Life or Beyond the Book rather has not transitioned to the iOS platform yet. It's only indicative to the tablets. Let's check out a comic book.
We're going to look at the same comic book. And once again, you guys can make your decisions on which one looks better and why as we kind of go through all this. So we have a kind of a fadeaway on the we were in panel mode, so here we go. Okay, let's get a good landscape portrait shot. There we go. So we'll do some pinching and zooming. So you go a little bit closer on the Air than you can on the Arc. Look at some colors side by side. Check out the reds.
Yeah, richer on the iPad Air. And this is mainly because one of the advantages about Comixology, Marvel Comics, DC Comics, a lot of these sort of things is the Comixology actually pushes HD editions to the Air, but they don't do that on the Android app yet. So despite the fact that the Kobo Arc has better resolution, Comixology is not pushing these HD edition comics. You'll actually have to find them on like BitTorrent sites or other avenues online, because you can't actually get those delivered by the official apps themselves. And this is probably why you're noticing richer colors on the iPad, because the comic that you're seeing on the Arc was about 60 megs, whereas the comic on the Air, the same comic, was about 150, 160 MB. So you're going to go through storage a lot faster, but if you enjoy reading comic books, I think that this is probably the better platform for you.
Right.
Okay, let's just check out newspapers quickly.
We're going to open up Press Reader, the same Vancouver Sun newspaper on both of these. So, unlike a 7-inch device, if you have perfect vision, you can read this. It's still not enjoyable, so you do have a couple ways to fix that. You have pinch and zoom capabilities, so you can find that sweet spot. Or if you notice, we have some light blue/blue, depending on the device, highlights on articles. You can go ahead and click on those, and it pretty much strips away all the ads, pictures, for the most part, and puts it into almost an ebook version. So you can click on how to change text. Everything changes live pretty much.
You can even change fonts, which is cool.
You have a little bit more of a selection of fonts on the Apple version than you do on Android. If you long press, you get some options like read back, listen, etc. You can go back to page view by clicking page view right there. And we can actually endlessly scroll from article to article, and it will actually strip away all the travel ads and car ads and just, go article to article, something you don't get in a real newspaper.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy reading newspapers on larger screen devices because there's more of a surface area. I know a lot of elderly people dig reading newspapers on larger screen tablets too, because you can increase the size of the font or even have the newspaper be read aloud to you, and that's something that you don't really get when you buy something in a store off the shelf. You'll have to get a magnifying glass with a little light attached to it if you want to zoom in on it.
Right.
So yeah, this is the Press Reader app. One of the things that I want to do is actually load up a magazine. So we have the same issue of Forbes magazine here, on the 30th page or so. Thought this is a good image to sit on, at least for the here and now. Get a sense of the way that the colors and everything, the balancing works. So you can see it looks like the iPad Air, it's more white here. It seems more like sort of an off yellow.
Putting these side by side, it's a lot clearer to see with the naked eye. The Kobo Arc, it almost looks a little bit fuzzy, that there's something physically over the screen, whereas on the Apple Air, it almost looks like you're looking at the screen a lot more clearly. It's kind of hard to explain.
All right, let's look at a few more images.
Yeah, the colors are definitely different. Oh man, give me that TV any day.
So what we did here is we purchased a magazine from the iBook store. That's what you're looking at here. And the other magazine on the Kobo Arc 10 is a magazine that we purchased from Kobo.
Right.
A lot of yellows in all these images we're looking at.
Yes. You also have some functionality like a kind of quick nav, and then you have your quick nav here via thumbnails on the Kobo Arc. So both of these give you the luxuries that real magazines don't give you, and that is flipping through the pages kind of very quickly rather than you going page by page. So the reading experience is both very quick on these devices, but you're definitely going to notice some color differences if you pop these side by side.
Okay, so this is more or less the magazine experience here. We're going to finish the comparison off with looking at the audio and video experience. So we'll let everyone decide which tablet excelled at audio and video. I think that the Air probably had a little bit better audio experience, but I did like the video better on the Arc 10. Here's our final take. The Arc 10 is a tablet that has a lot of e-reading functionality. If you're looking for a large screen device that is geared towards reading magazines, newspapers, ebooks, and all of that jazz, go with the Arc 10. If you're looking at more about something to play first-party games, something a little bit more multimedia-centric, a little bit of a choose-your-own-adventure, if you will, go with the iPad. For me, I'm more about reading myself. When I'm using a tablet, I'm seldom playing games. I'm more or less consuming written word, poetry media, things like that. So I'm more leaning towards the Arc 10. We'll let you guys make the final call on what you like better and maybe the reasons why. Drop a comment on this video. If you're watching this video on another website, it's youtube.com/goodyreader. For all the latest news, previews, interviews, and industry-wide coverage, you can check out our main website at goodyreader.com. And for a comparison of the Apple iPad Air and the Kobo Arc 10 HD, my name is Michael.
This is Peter.
Everybody take care.